Hello everyone, I'm HorseyEatYou. I'm no longer Lysander. I should have done that, it would have been so good. We're back with Fate Grand Order with Avalon le Fae. Last time we just got introduced to the world map. I forgot to move my microphone up, so I'm going to carefully move it to make sure OBS doesn't do anything. You okay, OBS? Yeah, you're good. Okay. So yeah, we're here with Salisbury. I hear they have very good steaks there. Yeah, it turns out it's not actually named after the place. It's named after a guy whose last name was Salisbury. I looked it up just now. So yeah, section 2. You have Oberon, Castoria, and Tristan with us. And oh yeah, we just saw Mashu with a wolf following her, who definitely isn't Fall. Or Cat Palug. Yeah, there's Oberon. Don't trust that man's smile. Look how wide it is. Beautiful, isn't it? This is the center of the British Lost Spot. I mean, I'd actually call this like the South. See that super ominous castle-looking thing over there? That's Camelot. These days, Britain is divided into North and South regions, and Camelot sits between them. Okay. Most people live here in the southern central area. It's to the north. The four main cities in the area are Salisbury, the Great Cathedral, Norwich, the nearest port town, Gloucester, the City of Fashion, and Oxford, the Great Dining Hall. Each city is run by the head of a fairy clan. Sorry for interrupting the lore dump, but you know where Mastro and Da Vinci are? Huh? I see. So there were others from Chaldea with you. Very sorry, but you're the only one I managed to find. And as you can see, it's just me right now, so tracking you down was the best I could do. But that leads nicely to my next point. Can you tell me what this Mashu of yours looks like? As long as I know what she looks like, I can have Blanca look for her. Is Blanca that butterfly that he had? Or is it a moth? Blanca? Who's that? Didn't you just say you were alone? Oh yeah, here, let me introduce you. Yeah, okay, it's a moth. Pretty cute, right? I talk with her a lot. I guess you could call her my friend. Anyway, she's very neat, very smart, and above all, she's a hard worker. If anyone can track down Mashu, she can. Okay. Okay, now that that's settled, how about we start by sharing what we all know with one another. You tell me your story and I'll tell you mine. And you know the rest. I see. So you conquered 5 lost boats thus far. And while you weren't originally planning to come to Britain, you, Mashu, Leonardo, and Tristan wound up coming here to investigate this collapse. But then after the 4 of you landed here, you got separated in the Nameless. Well, Tristan didn't come here, we summoned him. Which is still a little weird. What if he's evil? No, I think Tristan, well, he's probably cool. Hopefully. 4 of you landed here, you got separated in the Nameless Woods. That's unfortunate. No. I'm sorry I couldn't be more helpful. I had no idea you weren't the only one lost. So that's either a, mistranslation slightly, with including Tristan there, or there is something really weird about Tristan summoning that is going to be brought up later, and that's kind of like a discrepancy you're supposed to notice. Like, I've been trained by whodunits to notice those kind of things. Because a lot of times when I see something like that, I just kind of brush it off. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, the author just kind of messed up a little. No, it's always intentional. Usually. If only I'd been more attentive back then, maybe I could have tracked down Mashu and Leonardo as well. You gotta trust the author though. You gotta trust them that they knew what they were doing and Nasu didn't actually make a mistake in his milling in that word-long script. But I was so excited about finding you, I forgot all about everything else. So you were the one I saw on the beach before I lost consciousness? For the time being, there's one thing we can and should check. Sorry. Mashu is your contracted servant, right? Then you should have a magical energy connection with her. Oh, true. If it's still active, then we'll at least know she's alive, even if we don't yet know where she is. How about it? Can you check on that for us? The connection is still active. Dang it. Great, then all we have to do now is find her. Leonardo's a servant too, right? And I'm sure she's still alive and kicking too. Fortunately, the fairies here can't tell the difference between their fellow fae folk and servants. So as long as they're not human, they shouldn't be in too much danger. So let's just stay calm and trust them to handle themselves. Next, Artoria. Is there something you'd like to say to me? No, not right now anyway. Honestly, I'm still trying to wrap my head around everything I just heard about Chaldea, proper human history, the Lost Belts, and so on. Yeah, I was thinking about that. Although, getting back to, servants? Heroic spirits? Is that like a human turning into a fairy after they die? Oh, does that happen? You said both you and Tristan, are servants yourself? That's right. If you want to know more about heroic spirits and servants, I'm sure Horsey there would be happy to fill you in on the way. Between a resident of this Lost Belt like you and a master from proper human history who's a guest in this world, you two should be able to catch each other up in almost everything. On the way, you said? Does that mean you have a destination in mind, Oberon? I do indeed. When you're trying to track someone down, a big city is your best bet. Besides, you and Horsey both need to get used to the way things work here in Fairy Britain. So our next stop is Salisbury, the biggest city in the south. There we'll find food, clothing, shelter, everything we need really. Just about a full day's walk from here. Know you've been up all night, but you do think you can make the trek? But do you think? Of course, you don't have time to sit around and rest. Good answer. You've definitely got spirit, but you're also tempering it with a healthy dose of cool-headedness. I like that. Salisbury, huh? Going from Takeuchi's art to, whoever did Oberon's art? It's the author of, Sangatsu no Lion, right? I don't know their name, but it's just kind of jarring. It's like two completely different art styles. I guess that happens a lot of Grand Order, though. What should I do? Might be kind of dangerous to go back now. Like, for example, like if Rama's on screen with anyone else, like, you know, total juxtaposition. I also can't leave Horsey to fend for himself. Plus, I don't care what this Oberon guy says. He really seems a lot like Merlin. Would it be okay if I came along too, Horsey? I know I mistakenly went by Mashu's name for a while there, but I want to know more about you and about, oh, yeah, proper human history. Right, no, she knows Oberon's sus. Sorry, just assumed you'd be coming with us. Hey, of course not. Catch what have you been saying? Of course you wouldn't want a country bumpkin like me tagging a lot, huh? Here, shaking my hand again. Does that mean it's okay? Of course, I'm glad to have you with us, Artoria. Is this what Artoria was like before she became king? Taught out today. Oh yes, now that's a lovely friendship. I need to start using. I got a we call it like a canister recently. I should start putting my water in that. I moved recently, so I don't have like a water filter or anything. Used to have one in my fridge, but that came with the place. So I've been having to drink bottled water. So the tap water here is kind of not great. It's definitely on pins and needles back in Cornwall, but it seems not interfering was the right choice after all. Theatrical term, they believe this is the part where we say, now that the actors are in place, the real story can begin. Chaldea alone won't be enough. Child of Prophecy alone won't get there in time. So we'll need to defeat the mighty Morgan. Okay. Wasn't expecting that arrow to end so soon because this is there's only 4 arrows, but it's a long chapter. It's 2. I think we can get it all done in one try though. Section 3 though, that is going to be a behemoth. I haven't looked at the lengths beyond that, but I think there's 9 sections, and it's a 10-hour long. About section, like part 1 is about 10 hours long, so yeah, that's gonna be excellent. So Kiara, who did we use Kiara for? Oh, was it that 3 fight we had? No, I think those we only used Da Vinci and Madashu. Is that for like Limbo? I don't even remember. More Masa. I wasn't thinking straight. Let's search Uri for I guess Ushi? Wait, can we fit a 4-star? Nope, okay, yeah. Wait, if we take off. Yeah, you put in. Who else do we want Bond for? If we take this off, can we fit Vlad? I think so, because that's 5 cost, right? Oh no, it's 9. Okay, yeah. Okay, we're good. And well, Yeah, let's just do this. If we need the AoE, you know, like if a berserker kills us. Because I'm assuming this is like 3 berserkers. Well, probably 9. It could just be like one big berserker. Ah, the prophecy was true. That girl is our star of hope. Artoria? She'll be our salvation. She'll be our path to forgiveness. She's our savior, who drifted to our shores with a ship full of treasure. She's the one who will hear the voice of paradise and chant the promised name. Ah, dear Artoria. May you grow to the age of 16 healthy and strong. May the Queen soldiers never find you. One day, you'll go on a journey to ring the 6 bells and save all of Britain. I believe this is the plot of Dark Souls. A journey to welcome our true king. Gloucester? I don't know how to say that one. Salisbury, Oxford, Norwich, Orkney? We may not know where the 6th bell is, but we're confident you'll find it. The staff of selection has chosen you. You're Fairy Britain's only hope. Now go on. Hurry. 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 Hurry and greet your 16th birthday. We have complete faith in you. The village is done for. The executioner squads are here. Hold your head high. Grip your staff tight. Now's the time to begin your journey, Artoria. Remember, no matter what anyone says, you're unquestionably the child of prophecy. You're the spitting image of her. Oh, so she's like not our... Is she like the... either ancestor or reincarnation of the real Artoria? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry I'm so weak. Sorry I can't live up to your expectations. I'll do my best. I promise. As much as I can. Smack, smack. Are you sleeping already, Artoria? I get it. There aren't many things cozier than a campfire. Huh? Oh no, was I asleep? I just remembered Tristan playing his harp and then... Wait, you know what I realized I haven't done? I haven't done an Artoria eats a lot joke yet. I could have easily done one in section 1 with the feast. How long until that comes up? Oh, how this saddens me. I'm really trying to soothe your exhaustion. But I cannot help but notice you don't seem to care for my music, maid Artoria. Sorry, just not used to hearing music. Yeah, I'd like to see what Tristan thinks about this Artoria. It really did help me fall asleep peacefully. I'd love it if you played it again when it's bedtime. Ouch. You wound me, maid Artoria. Why maid Artoria? No bard wants to be told his music puts people to sleep. What is that? There's a weird symbol on my... What does that mean? Device made... Oh, a new software. No, gross. We don't update our phones. Hey, you can't blame her. We've been walking non-stop nearly all day. We're all exhausted. That's why we're camping out here tonight before making our way to Salisbury tomorrow morning. Artoria, you can put up a bounded field to keep wild animals away, right? Hate to ask since I know you're sleepy, but would you mind? Yes, of course. Okay, I'll be back soon. Getting rid of her? Now then. I know we told Artoria that proper human history is like a parallel world to Britain, but of course that's not the whole truth, is it? The truth is, proper human history is the rightful historical timeline. It's fundamentally incompatible with this world of fairy Britain. As Chaldea, you have to erase the lost belts to ensure humanity's future. And now you're trying to come up with a way to tell Artoria this without hurting her too badly. Yeah, I know it's wrong to hide that, but... In the past, haven't we been very forthcoming with that information? I feel like in Lost Belt 4, I want to say, maybe with Lakshmi Bai? We're basically like, yeah, you can't hide from this. You gotta look at it, you know. I guess that's just different authors being different authors. I see. I suppose you have betrayed the people of 5 Lost Belts already. Well, we didn't betray them. We said, hey, we're gonna destroy you, and we destroyed them. Dang. Usually pride myself on being an excellent conversationalist, but even I'm having trouble coming up with the right words to heal the wounds in your heart. So for now, the best I can do is offer some words of consolation. It's okay, Horsey. This Lost Belt won't fall by your hand. Remember, it's falling apart on its own. If anything, I'd say you're doing it a favor. But putting it out of its misery? Yes, indeed. Human history simply could not ever prosper in this version of Britain. It's a flawed world that was always destined for destruction. History took a dreadfully wrong turn here. The only problem is that it's threatening to take proper human history down with it when it all goes to pot. Is that a saying? That's why guys like us from proper human history have to do whatever we can to save it. That means defeating the one who's been ruling it from on high for 2,000 years, High Queen Morgan. Hold on. Did you say Morgan? As in that Morgan? So, two ideas here. So, Oberon, I'm assuming, is going to end up being antagonistic. I assume. Like, I'm not 100. Like, I'm like 99% sure on that. Is he taking the side of this last spot, like Atalanta, for example? Well, it was mentioned, can't tell fairies and servants apart, or at least they can't. So, he could just be lying about being a servant. Or he is a servant, but he likes this world because he's the fairy king. Well, I've learned enough from, like, what's the word, osmosis, that you do not trust this man. Anyway, hold on, did you say Morgan? As in that Morgan? Yep, that Morgan. The same one who proved to be King Arthur's ultimate Achilles heel in proper human history, even after he united all of Britain. The extraordinary witch who lured King Arthur into countless traps so she could take Camelot for herself. And the mother of Mordred, the treacherous knight, the child of King Arthur who proved to be his downfall. She's the one who ultimately destroyed Britain, and here, she's Fairy Britain's ruler. She'll bring it all to ruin. Let's see. I think Caldanes would probably refer to her as this last spot's king. Queen Morgan. King Arthur's arch-knight enemy here in this lost belt. Anyway, based on everything you've told me, it sounds like Morgan's behind the outside world's abnormality. So as long as you can defeat her, that should end the threat to proper human history. To do that, you can just leave this place to its fate grand order. Whether it falls apart or pulls itself back together, you won't need to feel bad about it. Look over there. What was it a lost belt needs to survive again? A tree of emptiness? Well, I'm guessing that world tree, the giant ash over there beyond the sea, is it. And as you can see, it's been dead for a long time, so this lost belt definitely hasn't got long left. Oh, so that's what that is right there. Like, you can see it. Been dead for a long time. Was it ever on fire at any point? Oh yeah, now that you mention it, it was. Went up in flames not too long ago, then died out again. Just as quickly as it started. Wonder what that was all about, anyway. Anyway, I think that's enough talk for tonight. Don't want to overdo the info dump. True! So even if you don't remember anything we talked about tonight, at least remember this. Defeat High Queen Morgan, ruler of Fairy Britain. Are you setting us up? Nice and simple, right? As for the rest, I'll tell you when we reach Salisbury. Once you see a Fae city for yourself, I think you'll have a much better handle on what life in Britain is like. Artoria? Oh. Oh, wyverns. Whoops, sorry to interrupt, but we've got monsters. You ready to fight, Horsey? I'm so sorry. Actually, I skipped a couple steps when I was making the bounded field. I ended up summoning a pack of wild wyverns by mistake. Can you help me out, please? Never thought the day would come when my liege would beg me for help. I'm sorry. Keep forgetting she's not the King Arthur I know. Oh, this is so embarrassing. Alright, Tristan used to be... Oh, are we just now realizing this? Even if she's not, I'm so glad to have her around. Me too. It's such an honor that it actually makes me feel sorry for the other knights of the Round Table. Here they come! Be careful, Horsey. Britain's beasts are not to be trifled with. Do you think we're gonna run into Gawain in Salisbury? Or, maybe it's not Salisbury, but soonish? Because, obviously, you know, it's Tomlin Tristan, Tomlin Gawain, and Tomlin Lancelot. Well, no, Tristan got his name back, so that's not where it comes from. I was thinking they'd all end up in the Nameless Woods at some point and have their names lost, which is why the Fairy Knights could take them. But that's not the case with Tristan at least right now. Unless they end up back there. Wonder if Tristan's gonna get killed then. I mean, he is kind of the most disposable one here, right? Sorry, Tristan, if I... like, you know, Oberon and Artoria are obviously here till the end game. Da Vinci and Maju obviously aren't dying. Well, I don't know. Oh, I think okay. Actually, I think we used Divinci in battle and lost about 7 a lot. Never mind. Never mind. She has plot armor. She's in the sequel. These wyverns are weird. They got feathers. I mean, we can't die. So if they want to kill someone off again, you know, Tristan's gonna get, you know. Oh yeah, Gareth shows up later on, doesn't she? I remember sometime later on there's a solo battle with Gareth, and in the story she's all like bloodied up. She has a unique sprite for that. So she might not be doing so hot later on. I assume we summon her. I mean, I assume we summon her, Gawain, and Lancelot. But she gets spared for some reason. Maybe Lancelot feels bad about what happened. Right? Lancelot killed Gareth, right? I remember in one of the summer events, Summer 4, I think? Moriarty just shames him about it. Yay, we won! We trounced him. Man, that feels good. Oh, this makes me happy. It's the first battle I've won handily since being summoned. We haven't had much luck with combat since we got here. Indeed, may not be a match for fairies, but pneumatic beasts like these are no match for the round table. It kind of seems like these dialogue options actually change a little, which is nice. Because you never know, it depends on the author, you know? So I think if we chose the second one, we'd have a unique line with Artoria instead. I see, so you've already strong enough to handle a murder of night crows without much trouble, hmm? Very nice. It's even better than I was expecting. Tristan, your bow may not be particularly strong, but its range is exceptional. You're clearly well suited for battles against large groups. With you on our side, we can win no matter how outnumbered we may be. As for you, Artoria, much more of a wild card than you look. That strange tool of yours handmade. Rare weapon like that will be effective against an opponent who's never seen it before, plus she has a distraction. Her staff? Above all, your summons were fascinating, Horsey. Or you like Muramasa? Or did you like the 2 caster Artorias? Well, I guess we had 3, didn't we? Temporarily summoning a heroic spirit to aid in battle, huh? No idea of such a flexible and powerful way to fight. Human magecraft doesn't tend to work very well against fairies. Summoning heroic spirits is definitely an exception. I like how they're acknowledging we actually do it. Because, you know, sometimes they don't. The only problem with it is how long you can last, given the incredible demands on your stamina, magical energy, and sheer luck. Plus, it seems like the longer the battle lasts, the more a toll it takes on you. But as long as you're careful about that, you should be able to handle anyone, fairy or not. Wait a moment. Human magecraft? You can use magecraft, Horsey? Surprise! Just barely thanks to my mystic code, but yup. Why is that surprising? We might get a little more dialogue if we choose this one. Oh gosh, I'm sorry. Just a little taken aback. See, magecraft isn't really used much in Britain. Basically, fairies perform sacraments without any help from basic magecraft spells or mystic codes. So magecraft is considered unnecessary at best and only practiced by weirdos at worst. Is she one of the weirdos? In fact, you're totally blunt. If you tell people you use magecraft here, they didn't look at you all funny and ask why you'd go through all that trouble. I see. You do have a point. Fairies simply have no need for magecraft. Since this Britain is a land dominated by fairies, that means magecraft is effectively worthless here. So why do you use it then, Artoria? Oh man, for everything I just said, you really went there, Horsey? Now, it was an honest question, Artoria. You know he didn't mean anything by it, right? Anyway, you don't have to answer if you'd rather not. As for you, Horsey, suggest you wait for a better time before bringing this up again. Anyway, I think we might have gotten distracted from our main purpose. Now that we've got this nice camp set up, we should use it to get a good night's rest. Sure, there's more you'd like to know about Horsey, Artoria. Why don't we save that for tomorrow? Fortunately, there are none of the Queen's soldiers. No Moors and no rebel army around here. Once we wake up in the morning, who's the rebel army? It's only another hour's walk to Salisbury, where we'll be able to have a much more in-depth conversation. I mean, we've already been talking for ages. After all, if you're gonna have a fun discussion, you should save it for a nice and relaxing place, right? That's just Nasu wanting to go to the next arrow. I wonder how they pace that. Like, do you think the authors decide that? Or do you think there's like a... They came to a decision, like, oh yeah, one arrow shouldn't be more than this long unless like it's really important, you know. that kind of thing. 'Cause I think early on, like the Lightworks. I know what's the name of the company now? Lysandral? But they're a completely different company now than the Lightworks, right? The Lightworks guys were like, oh yeah, you gotta have battles. You can't have a 0 AP. That's illegal, dude. You gotta have gameplay. So like, you know, that's why like every 3 or 4 minutes, oh, wyverns are attacking, just to break up the story. Which with you know, the story being a lot shorter back then, it works a little better than it would now. Like imagine trying to play the story with wyverns every 3 to 4 minutes. That's the gist of the world's history up until 2017. Telling the story for you. This is a pretty background, by the way. So other worlds really do exist. England, Scotland, Ireland, well, even France. Wow. That's the end of the world, right? So there are other countries beyond there too, like France and Italy. Can't even imagine so many different countries and cultures and people. Sounds like you come from a really wonderful world. Britain without the fairies, huh? Sounds like a nice change of pace. Well, from where Horsey is sitting, I'd imagine he finds this Britain full of fairies to be quite the change of pace. I do a... Did something just move on Oberon's wing? Hold on, I'll click. I do have to correct you on one thing though. I thought I saw something move right here, where I just clicked. Not that there aren't any fairies at all in proper human history, where Horsey comes from. They're just hiding. Are the Fae in the reverse side of the world, or what? All mystics have definitely faded since the AD era began. Fairies are still around. Though of course there are far fewer of them, and they don't reveal themselves to humans much. Heck, I'm a fairy hero spirit myself. Come to think of it, Oberon, aren't you from Midsummer's Night Dream? Yep, got it! A Midsummer Night's Dream, right? Written by William Shakespeare, England's greatest playwright, may well be one of the most famous stories about fairies. It's basically about a love square between humans. Yeah, I never actually finished it, but I have read like 2/3 of it. But two of the most important characters are Oberon, the King of Fairies, and his Queen Titania. In the story, I mean, I only call them like two of the most important. Like they're kind of like they're down the list. In the story, Oberon wants Titania to give him one of her pages. So he hatches the plan involving a potion that will cause the drinker to fall in love with the first living thing they see upon awakening. And she falls in love with a guy with a donkey head, right? But two humans end up taking it by mistake, causing them to forget about the person they love and mistakenly believe they're fated to be with someone else. Well, without going into too much detail, it all wraps up nicely in the end. It's a sort of comedy of errors focused on love and miscommunication you see everywhere. But unfortunately for me, it became so popular that it kept being retold for generations. So did it kind of like rewrite some of his identity? Thanks to that, the word fairy is now synonymous with mischievous Puck and narrow-minded King Oberon. What's Puck's other name? Robin Goodfellow? Something like that? So at least in one sense, I might be the most famous fairy in the world. If you've never read it before, you should give it a shot once you get back to Chaldea. It doesn't paint the most flattering picture of me, unfortunately, but never mind that. Just to be clear, I swear I wasn't trying to make trouble, okay? I'm just a plot device, really. Only there to get the romantic hijinks rolling. So then, does that mean you're a fictional character, Oberon? I'm kind of assuming that the Fairy King was a real person, but his identity as Oberon is fictional, if that makes sense. I'm assuming that's how it is for the Fairy Queen too. So, there are different names for the Fairy Queen, right? Like, I believe Maeve is one. My assumption of how it works in the Nosferatu, Maeve was like the real Fairy Queen, right? And then Midsummer Night's Dream came out and Titania became like, you know, maybe like a alter ego kind of thing. Is it possible for someone as vaguely defined as that to become a servant? No, it isn't. Well, Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream is indeed how he is best known. Is it? I mean, I'd say that's like... Oh no, he's talking about Hamlet. I thought you were saying that Shakespeare's most defining work is Midsummer Night's Dream. Legends of Oberon, the Fairy King, existed in Europe since ancient times. Perhaps most notably, there's a poem about him in the 15th century. Oh, did Shakespeare not invent the name? Well before Shakespeare's time. Where he's described as a king of fairies who can use magic to make any wish come true. Really? I didn't know about that one. The point is, the character was inspired by an existing model. That model must have become the base for my servant form. Which came first? Who knows? Another version of the chicken and egg problem. What about Titania then? Oh, she's all Shakespeare. There are no legends in fairy history of anyone by that name. Okay, then I think I'm right there. The name Titania probably came from the Titans of Greek mythology. The Oberon in A Midsummer's Night Dream is pretty self-centered after all. You can never find a lady who would tolerate him, so Shakespeare had to make one up. But I digress. Sorry for wasting our time. Okay, I wonder who Maeve is then. Salisbury's just up ahead. Don't worry about the guards. I'll handle them. All you three have to do is stay quiet. It's okay. My face is basically a free pass into the city. Oh wait, one more thing. Do not tell them your names. If they ask and you can't avoid answering, make something up. We don't need anyone else finding out that you're human. You never know who might be listening. Hold on. Isn't it dangerous to lie to fairies? For their eyes can see through falsehoods. So shouldn't we try to avoid lying wherever possible? Oh, don't worry. Fairies here don't have powers like that. Okay. I don't know if they lost them thanks to all this prosperity, if they threw them away in order to be prosperous. But either way, they definitely can't tell truth from lies anymore. The only way you can tell if you're dealing with a good person or not is when everything's said and done. How else could someone as evil as Morgan have stayed at the top of the world for so long? Well, okay. Is Morgan evil? I thought she just really hated Artoria. Hey, Dwarf Dude. Oh, it's Elf Lady! She lived! Best girl! And it really is a huge cathedral. Okay, right, they mentioned that. How this gladdens me. The air here is very different from Cornwall. There may be fairies everywhere we turn to here too, but I don't sense anything dangerous about them. They all seem happy and full of good cheer. Some sort of festival taking place today or something? No, this is just life in Salisbury. It's the only free city in all of Britain. Free city? There are about 200,000 people living in Salisbury. Some are wind, earth, and fang fairies. Some are fairies who emerge spontaneously from nature. Some are even independent humans. Independent humans? Humans who have won their freedom and now belong to no one but Britain itself. I was hoping to tell you about that aspect of life here once things settle down, because it was bound to come up sooner or later. Since the great cathedral's here too, it seems as good a place as any to get into it. You Chaldeans may have thought there were no humans in this lost vault, but strictly speaking that's not true. There's just not enough to cause a cute human order, is that the word? To exist? Humans do exist here, they're just not at the top of the hierarchy. Or is that what causes it? If humans aren't at the top of the hierarchy, do like Alaya and Gaia not really... Well, no, not Gaia, just Alaya. Not really function. Here they're used as tools to enrich fairy society. Proper human history terms, they're essentially slaves. Didn't you think there's something strange about this city? It's wrong, twisted, unseemly. You're right, it's more like a human city than a fairy one. Exactly. Fairies are supposed to live in harmony with nature. Even when they form communities, there's always forest children and stone children gathering under the same great mother. They are always just the divided spirits of the planet, who never possessed a culture of their own. But as you can see, Fairy Britain has become a place where fairies imitate human society. For about 14,000 years, that's a long time, fairies here have raised humans like cattle. Not very nice. That time they used humans' innate creativity as entertainment, which in turn allowed them to flourish. Fairies live long lives, and they require no sustenance whatsoever. So there's nothing they can't do, they never change, they never try anything new. In contrast, humans have countless weaknesses. They live short lives, their injuries don't heal, they need food to survive, they can easily be killed by wild beasts. So naturally, humans came up with all sorts of things that allowed them to survive and flourish in spite of all those weaknesses. Guessing the fairies found that kind of human thinking to be absolutely fascinating. It's like finding a shiny new toy. Okay. So they began keeping humans as livestock, followed by superficially copying their culture with cities like this one. They completely ignored the substance behind human agriculture, architecture, and other various fields of study, instead only imitating it at the most basic superficial level. Anything they couldn't copy manually, they fudged with magical energy. That cathedral over there is the worst offender. Fairies have no gods and no religion. They just think it looks cool. There's no actual point to making the cathedral, they just thought it was fun. That's Fairy Britain's culture, it's how they treat humans. So they just ripped us off? Well, yes, I guess you could put it that way. Still, as a fairy myself, I can understand how things got to this point. Well, they definitely took it too far. Makes sense they'd get like this in a world where humans are endangered. Wait, does Oberon actually have like a deep voice? I forget who his voice actor is, but I feel like he actually has a deep voice. Both in proper human... No. Both in proper human history and in this last film, humans are fairies' favorite source of luxury entertainment. Like, it's gonna end up like, Castor, you know, the Dioscuri. He has a shockingly deep voice. This thing came to be known as fairy burden when fairies began regulating humans at a societal level. It's also the key political policy of High Queen Morgan, your enemy. Huh? You guys are gonna fight Morgan? Hell yeah, we are. You in? Yep. Or at least, that's the current plan. Isn't that right, Horsey? I thought we were gonna negotiate her. Don't know about fighting yet, but we do need to meet this Lost Boat's king. First, we need to find my other two companions. Oh right, we do, don't we? First things first and all that. Why don't we start with the pub? There are always people coming and going in pubs. Some of them may know something useful. Victoria? Why did you stop? Is something wrong? Horsey, you've helped me out a lot. I really do appreciate it, but... What, is she sick of us? What should I do? Just gonna fight High Queen Morgan? It'd only complicate things if I stuck around. Wanted to stay with him until he found Masha? Maybe it'd be better to go our separate ways here. What? You don't want to kill her? So that's how it is. By the way, Artoria, do you know what they do to humans in the city they catch without their owners? They're captured as ranch escapees and sent up to New Darlington. New Darlington? Isn't Darlington the National Slaughterhouse Theater? What? Oh, what the? 3 dialogue choices? Slaughterhouse? That's horrible. But isn't Salisbury supposed to be a free city? Head of the Wind Clan runs this place, right? Surely they wouldn't do anything so horrid. Not necessarily. Not even the head of the Wind Clan can defy the High Queen. It would definitely be to our advantage to have as many trusted collaborators with us as we can. Horsey still doesn't know right from left here, and on top of that, he's human. Should we be saying that in public? Not an owner to watch over him. It'll just be the nameless woods all over again. I'd do it myself, since I'm obviously noble, even royal. It's showing how do you say that? Credulity? Let's just say credibility. Well, no, that's not the right word. But it's close enough to a synonym. If I try to claim a human of unknown origins as one of my attendants. But you, on the other hand, will be a perfect fit for Horsey. Don't worry, I'm not asking you to stay with him forever, just while we're in Salisbury. You prefer that over being alone too, right, Horsey? Why is he trying to get her to stay? So, he wants Morgan out of the picture. For whatever reason. Maybe he wants to be this Lost Boat's king? But he can't with, Morgan here? And, he knows, Artoria versus Morgan. You prefer that over being alone too, right, Horsey? I guess you're right. Being alone in Britain these days would make you more likely to attract suspicion from the authorities. But what about Tristan? Couldn't he pretend to be Horsey's owner? He probably could, but Tristan knows just as little about fairy Britain as Horsey. It wouldn't take much questioning from one of the fit clan guards to expose the facade. I wouldn't go that route unless we had no other choice. Maybe human attendant? Then we'd have to be an upper class fairy. What, you want to be poor? Also, I love that face. Which would also make me Horsey's owner. And dude, there's totally like dojins about this, isn't there? It would just be pretend. Or were you actually hoping to make him your pet? No, I couldn't. Pretend is fine. Still much too young for that. Great, then it's settled. If not dojins, then there's definitely fan art of that. Horsey, Artoria is gonna be your owner for a while. If I have to. We're the safest way to travel here. Think you can play along? Oh, I actually have some acting experience. I did Salem. I haven't uploaded it, but I did it. Okay, if you're sure you want me for this, then I'll do it. I still have a couple the entirety of Salem pretty much. I uploaded the first video. But I did Salem after Olympus, I think. I just had free time. I was like, okay, what do I do now? So I just recorded all of Salem in like 2 days. And oh yeah, I have like 2/3 of Disco Elysium I never uploaded. Oh, and all of Silent Hill 2, and like the final episode of Silent Hill 1. You're sure you want me for this? Then I'll do it. I meant to keep uploading those, but my Grand Order backlog has gotten to the point where I really need to... Like, I'm still uploading Olympus, so I'm a bit behind. I recorded that a year ago. Since we've come this far together, so certainly don't mind traveling together a little more. In fact, looking on the bright side, it's actually making one of my childhood dreams come true. Oh, what dream would that be? The same dream every fairy who grows up in the country has. Joining the ranks of upper-class city folk. Okay. I don't know what that facial expression was, Oberon, but... Hey there, my good Salisburyans! How are you all this fine day? That's right, it is I, Oberon, the fairy king of the autumn woods, the missionary of peace, flowers, and fairy tales, here to grace you with my boisterous presence. Do you have to be like this when you walk in? Like, do you think he does that every time he walks into a room? I'll get the clap. Hey, Oberon! Glad to see you're doing well. Nice to have you back at Salisbury again. Hi, pub owner. Just make sure you don't put anything on your tab today, you hear? Oberon, I knew coming with the day drink was a good idea. Oh, I wonder you're paying back the money I lent you. Still have to thank you, fairy who looks regarded. Oh, that's right, that's best girl. Still have to thank you for the help the other day, Oberon. Your advice really got the trees in my backyard to settle down. Still waiting for you to pay me back, though. Lovely, Oberon. You have some time to spare, right? Oh, that one's not wearing a dress? The one on the left? Still must attend our tea party today. Still waiting for you to pay me back, though. This is the poor little prince of the 10,000-year tab. Won't worry, I'll cover this round. Still waiting for you to pay me back, though. He's been here for 10... Oh, that might be metaphorical. But... Well, you'll cut that out. Stop pointing out how popular I am. Here with some important friends today. Save the money talk for another time, alright? Ha ha ha! We know. Don't worry, we're all just joking. You've enriched our lives way more than the Queen's banknotes ever could. We're happy to treat you. Or is that about a 10,000-year tab? So you're poor, even though you call yourself a king? Well, yes. My financials are a little lean just now. I'm flat broke. What do you expect? When I summoned a fairy burden, all I had on me was this cloak. Woke up in a forest piled high with dead leaves with literally nothing to my name. He's been here for 10,000 years then? Like, actually? Usually in a situation like this, you're too bummed to do anything but wait for help from proper cure ministry. Since I arrived first, I knew there are things I needed to take care of. Fairies thrive on what they find interesting, or one around putting on shows in the various cities here. Sing songs, riled up crowds, told fairy tales, entertained housewives, and livened up the nights. Oh, okay. There's just a skip there. Over time, the people of Britain came to know me as the regal fairy queen of a fief nobody's heard of. Well, at least in the major cities anyway. Oh! So I didn't know about you because I'm from the countryside. Sorry about that. Try to branch out more from now on. Or he's just completely lying to him. Well, no, I mean, there's proof here with how they're reacting to him. Still, this is a hard-fought battle in its own right. Can you imagine what it was like for me to have to act like nobility without any actual capital? I can. I recall a few dozen times I lied about my station so I could sing love songs to a beautiful woman I met at a tavern. You go, Tristan. Indeed, there's nothing quite so exciting, tense as that. It's a fellow poet, Oberon. I have a greatest respect for what you've accomplished here. I don't suppose you'd be willing to give me a few in-depth lessons on how to grow fairy style, would you? You'd really like to learn from me? I'd be glad to teach you what I know. Besides, with your music backing me up, I'd be able to expand my clientele even more. I'm just imagining the Tristan and the Throne of Heroes getting this information. He's just digging through oh my god, this is perfect, thank you. Chaldean Tristan. You're a legend. Well, I guess this isn't well, is it? I don't know. Now I see, you're both scoundrels who can't be trusted around women. Anyway, where should we sit, Oberon? My favorite table is at the back, round one in the back, on the raised floor. It's harder for other customers to see you there, and it gives you a full view of the whole pub. Now how about we start with a toast of fruit water? Excuse me, cutie, are you the new server? Is it Eyeless Elf Girl? Let the owner know. We'll be using the table in the back, okay? Also, we'd like to order 4 apple waters. Oh! Hello! That's one way to use your Ascension Art. You got it. I'll have them ready in just a moment. Huh? Huh? Da Vinci? Oh, no way! Horsey, it's really... Oh, she remembers. Oh, yeah. That's easy. I kind of thought she wouldn't know her name. Okay. Sure. Yeah, she's just going with it. She's winging it. Like, Da Vinci gets separated from her. She's like, okay, what should I do? Like, go look for Mashu and Horsey? And I'm just gonna be a maid. That works. Okay. So, this town, Salisbury. Makes sense. You think... Where do you think we go after Salisbury? You think we're going directly to Camelot? And, like, get rejected? Like, that's actually just a, recreation of, Camelot singularity. Right? Remember, we got stuck outside the gates in the Gawain fight? It might actually do that just for the parallelism. Because that was like, I think section 4 of Camelot. Oh man, you'll never believe what happened to me. So after we got separated in the fog, I let my instincts lead me. That brought me right back to the beach. Luckily that beach was far enough away from the foggy woods that I was able to follow the coastline east. Wait, did she just not lose her name? When she like outside of Salisbury here, figured out how to be able to learn more in a populated city. Then when I got here, an angel, far too good for this world, just appeared on my pub's doorstep. She was very unsteady on her feet, but I could still see the fire in her deep blue eyes when she said, "Let me roller skate around as a maid." Wait, does she have the roller skates as the maid? What a lovely place. Would you let me work here for the rest of my life? I never said that. What I said was, I'm looking for my companions, but first, could I have a glass of water? Remember? Oh, if you ever change your mind, you just let me know. You're welcome to work here forever. Yes, I heard you the first 100 times, Mike. His name's Mike. Imagine being a fairy, your name is Mike. Now back behind the counter. I'll teach you to make cocktails later. Da Vinci, my perfect angel. Okay, he's a weirdo. Anyway, that's my story. Glad you're okay, Horsey. You too, Tristan. Oh no, looks like you still haven't found Mashu yet. I see. Must be the other servant Horsey told us about. It's an honor to meet a renowned genius like yourself, Leonardo da Vinci. Who are you? Guessing the fact that you know my name means you're a servant from proper human history? I'm Oberon the Fairy King. Though I guess here it's more of an aspirational title. I mean, we probably told him Da Vinci's full name. So, that's not proof that he's a servant. It's nice to meet you, Da Vinci. I'm Artoria Caster. I met Horsey in the Nameless Woods. To make a long story short, I'm, going around with Horsey pretending to be his owner. Oh, okay, she just takes him in stride. Seriously? That's hilarious. Thanks, Artoria. Must be a huge weight off Horsey's shoulders. And hey, you're a British fairy too, right? Oh, she knows. Probably got some idea of what it is we're doing here by now. But you're helping Horsey. Does that mean we're good with it? I figured Da Vinci would think that she's a servant. Well, more or less. Honestly, I didn't really even get half of what Horsey and Oberon told me. But I do know that Horsey was telling the truth. I wouldn't feel right about abandoning someone in trouble within my ability to help them, and honestly, kinda seemed like fun. Gotcha. Should be okay to speak frankly here. So how did you end up here, Horsey? And so anyway, I lost my name. I was Lysander for a while, and there's a cute fairy girl who was missing an eye. Well, sounds like you guys had a heck of a time in that forest. Glad you made it out of here okay. Thanks for keeping him safe, Tristan. You too, Oberon, Artoria. So we still don't know much about Britain. We have no idea where Mashu is, but we do know that she's still alive, and Oberon is flat broke. Okay, now that we're all on the same page, we can figure out what to do next. You made the right call, Oberon. We shouldn't be wandering aimlessly around Britain right now. What we do need is to set up a base of operations here in Salisbury where we can gather information and tackle our problems one at a time. Our top priority right now is finding Mashu, so we'll need to look for info on a girl wearing iron armor. While we do that, we'll also learn more about Britain and the lives of the fairies who live in it. Do you want us to set up a base? Have a house here or something? Sure do. This pub doubles as an inn. Okay, she has a room. Technically, they just copied a man-made inn without knowing what it was for. So I taught Mike about inns and how to put all the extra rooms he's got here to good use. As a little reward for my services, gonna take 3 of the second floor rooms for myself. Star. That's convenient. I knew we would eventually find each other, that we needed a Chaldea front-line base when we did. That's why I went ahead and made one. I'm impressed, Vinci. Old Leonardo here would be especially blown away by what you've done here. Is this Lancelot person also a young girl? Oh, wait. Did I say Lancelot? I'm not. Maybe I did, but I wasn't like. Sometimes I just go on autopilot and I start reading. That's why if you ever see me go back to read a line, that's what's going on. Is this Lancelot person also a young girl? In one sense, you're not wrong. What does that mean? I don't understand the context of that sentence. Spit take. This is great. You can already tell this Da Vinci friend of yours will be a huge help. Alright, since it seems like you guys have things well in hand now, I think I'll take my leave. Actually got a lot of other things I still have to do. Really? You're just leaving? You're going off into your own, Oberon? Yep. Gonna see what I can find out about this girl. Not to mention we also need more information about Britain as a whole. Now that you Chaldeans have come here, things are definitely going to change. Because we still don't have many allies on our side yet, I want to make sure we know where things stand in every region. But we'll see you again soon, right? Yeah, I'll be the final boss, see ya. Of course, especially now that I know where I can find you all. I actually don't know if he's the final boss. I know we fight him near the end. But for all I know, it could be, oh, you think you're tough enough to fight the final boss? To prove that you have to fight me. And it could just be a big old plot twist. But I think he's evil. But it could be that. Don't worry, the next time you see me, I'll have good news. In the meantime, I suggest you all get acclimated to Britain sooner than later. Well, dang, sure didn't waste any time. Glad he's on our side, but he definitely dances to the beat of his own drum, doesn't he? Indeed, that colorful outfit of his speaks to me. Tells me that he is, without a doubt, some kind of poet as me. Ah, how this gladdens me. So what should we do now? Could show you around Salisbury if you like. Thanks, but I think we should take the rest of the day off. You all walked a long way to get here, after all. Please go ahead and make yourselves comfy in the rooms I mentioned. Or so you take a room for yourself. Tristan and I will share another, but I want to bunk with Tristan. Artoria, you can use the other room I set aside for Mashu. I knew I was right not settling for just 2 rooms. I also put up some magecraft barriers in the rooms, so we won't have to worry about being overheard. Recognize that Da Vinci wink. Oh! Artoria, do you want to share a room as my owner? Wink wink. This fan art of that. Really? Can I have a... Probably. I don't actually know. I assume there has to be. Really? Can I have a whole room all to myself? For free? Hooray! I've always wanted my own room. Can't wait to get all comfy. Thank you, Da Vinci. Gosh, you, proper human history? Question mark? Fairies are all so generous. This is great. Now she's gone too. No, I didn't touch on this before. She's pretty different from the Artoria we know, isn't she? Yes, she is. From what I've seen so far, we should consider her an entirely separate person from King Arthur, Artoria Pendragon, the King of Britain in proper human history. Yep, which is one more thing I'd like to discuss up in our room, if you two don't mind taking this there, okay? Better if we discuss proper human history stuff just among ourselves. Really can't be too careful here. I've been thinking about this the whole time. Like, someone could just be eavesdropping in all of this. Oh, that's a pretty big room. Alright, let's start by sharing what we've learned, starting with this version of Britain. Probably got a sense of this yourselves on your way to Salisbury. But this last one is very different from all the others you've seen so far. Sorry, how so? It doesn't look at all like an alternate path human history could have taken, especially since humans aren't the dominant species here. So as far as I can tell, this world consists almost entirely of fairies. That's true, but I mean, isn't that also kind of the case with Lost World 5? But instead of, well, I mean, I guess there still were a lot of humans, right? But the gods were, I mean, I guess they were gods. In Russia, a huge cold snap made it impossible for the human species to survive as they were, so they were forced to adapt and evolve. Scandinavia, the twilight of the gods, aka Ragnarok, happened during the Age of Gods, and both gods and people alike were in sharp decline afterward. China was ruled by a single how do you say that? Zhenyuan? Shanyan? I know that's not pronounced like a Z. Or true human, and became the sole nation state in the entire world. India is converging in on itself through endless cycles of reincarnation, only for the whole world instead of individual people. In Greece, humankind was completely dominated by gods who never died out. While all of them were dead ends, they were still all human worlds. Okay, I get what you mean then. There were plenty of humans around. They were still the majority. Well, even, unless you don't count on the people in Lost Belt 1 as humans. No matter how different they may have been from our timeline, they still all had human societies that suited their environments in the year 2019. That's not the case here. This is very much not a human world. For one thing, there is no world outside of Britain. Not like the other Lost Belts where we just couldn't see the outside world thanks to the storm walls. Oh! Okay, that's... I didn't realize that. It's like, for example, in Lost Belt 3 China, he ruled the entire world, and then in 2019, he suddenly lost contact, and I think he was like, hey, why did that happen? That's weird. There's just nothing in this world at all besides Britain. No other continents, and definitely no other nations. So as long as we're here, the whole planet consists of nothing but the Isle of Britain and the sea. And that means, basically another world with no relation to human history? Yep. Given what we know now, that's the only way to describe it. Over the last few days, I've been asking various fairies about what things are like between Britain and other countries, but the very idea of other countries is alien to them. So that tells me there must be some strange circumstance that caused this place to become Fairy Britain. I wonder if this is a different dimension. Like, what if this is the reverse side of the world? Figuring out what that is will be the key to beating, unraveling this Lost Belt. Which I guess could somehow explain why I could survive without a tree for so long. Hold on, there aren't any other European countries here. Does that mean every fairy in this land comes solely from the Isle of Britain? That's a great question, Tristan. There are no other lands in this world. It follows that no fairy legends from those places would be important here. Unlikely, there's still a little thing called human history convergence. What that means is, as long as a fairy once existed on Earth, their existence will remain even if their form and history are different. Okay, sure. That's not also being like, oh shoot, I need to explain a reason. So even in this Fairy Britain, we have fairies from various European legends showing up in different forms. Basically, the ecosystems are similar, even if the environments aren't. Since this is still the same planet Earth, there are inevitably going to be similar life forms, civilizations, and large-scale events. Similar life forms, huh? Yep, Fairy Britain may be nothing like the Britain we know. But despite that, the two Britons have a surprising number of things in common. Things like city names, fairy names. Even the name of this world's queen. Remember that huge castle to the north you saw on the way here? Belongs to High Queen Morgan, ruler of Fairy Britain. Yeah, we know. It probably won't surprise you to learn that his name is Camelot. Okay, makes sense. That's right. He had the same castle that symbolized British peace and proper human history. That was home to King Arthur and to the Knights of the Round Table. Belongs to Morgan. The strongest, most despised witch in British history. The one indirectly responsible for King Arthur's death and Britain's downfall. Okay. Did hear her name a few times on the way here, but man. Morgan the Witch, huh? How does Tristan feel about her? If as far as I've been able to find out, Morgan's ruled Fairy Britain for almost 2,000 years. There's 6 different fairy clans here. Wind, Earth, Fang, Mirror, Wing, and one other. King, right? They waged war with each other constantly for thousands of years. Till Morgan used evil magecraft to defeat them, subjugated half the clans through force, and united all of Britain. Afterward, she gave the humans of this world a limited degree of freedom, and built a foundation for civilization, developed this imitation society over the course of the last 2,000 years. Morgan. So even in this Lost Belt, she's still trying to... But no, I suppose I shouldn't say that. Sure, this Morgan is a different person from the one we know. So what exactly is her reign like? Since she calls her castle Camelot, does that mean it's fair and just? What King Arthur would be proud of? Yeah, definitely, yeah. No, it's pretty horrible. She has strict limits on the number of humans that can be born each year. She rules the fairies with an iron fist. Every fairy that lives in an urban area is inscripted with Morgan's curse, command spells, as part of their civic duty. Okay. Every year, fairies inscribed with these command spells are forced to donate some of their vitality, magical energy, essentially. They call it existence tax. Oh, they mentioned that. Any fairy who can't pay it, essentially who can't provide enough magical energy to satisfy Morgan, are killed right then and there. Apparently, when she first took the throne, Morgan told the fairies, offer neither absolution nor salvation. Demand only that you obey without question or hesitation. That's a cool line. Show me your fealty in word and action, and I shall keep Britain safe. Well, she's probably using that magical energy for something important. Any fairies who can't handle the state of affairs and becomes unable to work are either taken to Camelot and dealt with there, or they escape the cities and ran away to lands no one else knows about. Is that what those nameless fairies probably were then? So that's why those fairies were there. Hey elf bro. I miss him so much. Such an oppressive regime is bound to spark opposition. But even so, Morgan has maintained her iron grip on Britain for 2,000 years. Yep, but just goes to show how powerful she must be. She takes half the soul of every fairy in Britain each year. There's still no fairies able or willing to stand up to her. That said, there's some positive sides to Morgan's reign. Remember those black things we fought near the shore? Fairies call them Moors. They're one of the calamities that have been plaguing Fairy Britain since its inception. We already know. Occasionally, fairies that lost their purpose or their spark end up turning into these Moors creatures. Moors are essentially fairies' natural predators. Just touching one is enough to infect a fairy, ultimately transforming them into Moors too. Okay. That's interesting. Kind of like a disease that only affects fairies. The Moors aren't the only calamity Britain has to regularly contend with. There are lots of others that pop up on a regular basis. And Morgan's, the High Queen's army is constantly fending them off. Morgan may be a cold and ruthless ruler, but she's also the sword that keeps Britain safe. The fairies may fear and hate her, they also depend on her. And that's the current state of affairs of Fairy Britain. I think Morgan's definitely this lost boat's king then. Yep, that seems like a very safe assumption. Which means she's also the one who she'd also have to be the one who used Rango Minion. That spell is so powerful it reached Olympus from here. No one else could have cast it. Of course, that unfortunately also means Beryl God is involved with Morgan somehow. I don't think she's a fan of him. So let's say that makes our chances of peaceful negotiation with her basically nil. I see. And we have our own reasons for defeating her. Yep, though we may have a hard time getting into Camelot, because apparently no one can enter it without her permission. That said, even Morgan's reign isn't perfect. In fact, there's new hope going around Britain right now. As luck would have it, we showed up here at the exact right time, just as things are about to change. What's this new hope? The Empire Strikes Back? I assume the Rebel Army. The Child of Prophecy. Okay, that too. Specifically, a child whose existence was prophesied by the head of the now extinct Mir clan right before they disappeared. From what I heard, it went something like this. 16 years from now, a savior shall appear. Guided by the staff of selection, the true king will take the throne. So are we going to recognize that as Artoria? When the 6 bells ring out, the false queen will fall. Alongside Fae and humans, the savior will bring an end to this false history. Do you think the 6 bells are related to the 6 clans? So what do you think? Sounds vaguely familiar, right? Get credibility out of the wazoo, too, since the Mir's clan's prophecies never have once been wrong. But, oh no, it's Greek prophecy. We gotta be careful with those. Well, I mean, it's not Greek, but it's the same rules. High Queen's been trying to prevent the inevitable by rounding up every fairy turned 16 this year. See, that's Morgan. Wrong way to do it, buddy. Never works. The fact that this Child of Prophecy hunt is still going on proves that she still hasn't caught them. Suffice to say, between the Moors and the Child of Prophecy alone, the cracks are showing in the High Queen's reign. So if we play our cards right, we might just be able to negotiate with Morgan after all. That said, finding Moshri definitely comes first. For the time being, you should rest up and recover your strength. Then tomorrow, we can start gathering information. Quietly and casually, of course, so as not to arouse suspicion. Still going. You can tell, for some reason I can tell before it goes. Like, the cut to black. I think it's the way the music fades. And it feels like forever since I lay down on a soft bed. Oh? British Lost Belt, High Queen Morgan. Altoria, Oberon. We got so much lore dump. We're having a flashback for the lore dump. Oh shoot, wherever you are, please don't be safe. Please be dead so we can stop dragging you around everywhere. Oh? Yeah, I think we could use some rest too. Oh, this is those two. Servants might not need to sleep, but it's so tiring to be constantly watching out for threats, right? And you never took your fingers off with the bowstrings even once that entire time. Guess that's why you're a knight of the round table, huh? Heh. Just you noticing that suggests I need rest as well. But not just yet. But please don't refrain from resting on my account, Vinci. You may be a servant too, but you're also living in the here and now, just like Horsey. Okay, I thought it mixed those two words up, like a living being, but no. So go on, get some sleep. Don't worry, it's my duty to protect you as well as him. Gotcha. Guess I should have expected that kind of a consideration from Tristan, the child of sadness, the most handsome knight of the round table. Okay then, I think I'll take you up on that. Honestly, I was pretty beat. By all means. But first I have just one request for you. I don't want to take too much of your time, but before you fall asleep, I was hoping you could tell me about the 6th singularity. Okay, he doesn't have Chaldean knowledge. Specifically, I'd like to hear about the version of me who was summoned there, and what I was doing in the holy city of Camelot. Trying to remember, so, you know, Tristan was kind of he was a jerk there. You know, serving the Lion King. I forget exactly what he did, but I know he wasn't cool. Is he? Yeah, he's the one who attacked the Hassan village. Or Aurora. Hasn't that name been mentioned before? Okay, that's it, guys. There's a siren going off outside if you can hear that. So I'm gonna hurry up and call it. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you guys next time. Bye.